Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we inspire you, and yes, we educate you. And I'll tell you what, I'm super pumped up. It's a Friday morning. I'm excited. Fall's in the air, love's in the air, and we got new amazing just books coming out. And this woman right now, she's a powerhouse out of here, out of South Texas. And I don't say San Antonio because she's bigger than San Antonio. I want to welcome Rachel Porter to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm looking forward to chatting up. I love a great conversation.
Well, I know the amazing, beautiful rock star you are, but do me a favor, introduce yourself to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show because we're doing worldwide, and I want the world to know who is Rachel Porter.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I am Rachel Porter. I am a woman that is evolving in so many different aspects. I'm absolutely loving my journey in life. I became a transformational life coach just a few years back, but before that, I homeschooled my children. So I was had seven children. My oldest is 22, my youngest is 8, and so it's just a new season in life. And I'm now still doing the mama duties and but I'm also equipping women, and now I hit a goal, and that was to write a book.
Well, you said the lucky number, 7 children, right? Seven is a lucky
Yes.
number, so I'm all good with that. Well, let me ask you this: what you come from just a background of really just challenging things coming your way, and I love your coaching because when I met you, a lot of people challenges come their way and they don't embrace them, right? They resist the challenge and then they say, why me? Or how come? And those are the worst two questions you can ask yourself. Because when you say, why me? Your subconscious mind is going to ask you that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show because Rachel's going to get ready to drop some wisdom. Get out your pen. You know what I say here on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show? Get out your pen, get out your paper, and take some notes because she's going to drop some massive value. What did you learn, right? Because no one wakes up one day and says, I'm going to be a transformational coach because you had to go through the transformation yourself. What challenges came your way that you wanted to go out and, because really what you're doing is helping other women overcome what you do. I always say, right, this, you're best qualified to coach the old you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I always like to begin with is that I'm still transforming. And I think that's probably one of the biggest lessons we have to learn in life. We strive for excellence. Well, most of us do. Some it's really tough. They're just, you know what, I'm good with where I'm at. But a lot of us want to strive for excellence, excellence in our relationships, in our work, in our just everyday living, skills, talents. And yet we don't give ourselves enough grace, because what happens is challenges, or I call them fires in life, the intensity, it could be a small little fire or it can be really, really intense. And they come and they challenge us. And yet sometimes we make knee-jerk reactions off of what we've had in previous years. So I always say, yes, our childhood is a big thing. And then it's those 20 years, and then those 30 years, we're in their 40s and our 50s. And if we haven't learned to embrace those fires, we become stuck. And that is probably one of the biggest things that when I'm speaking with women, friends as well, but especially my clients, is okay, we know what's happened in the past. We know that things have happened, maybe some really hard things, and then there's mistakes. You did the best that you could, and yet you wish you could go back and maybe change that decision, but you can't. So what you do is you own it. You own your story, you own what's happened to you, because that is what can help you evolve into someone that, remember, that excellence, that's actually part of your story. And the things that you've done, that's part of you too. So it's owning your story, what's happened, what you've done. It's also owning your future decisions. And we
You,
can't just make a decision off the cuff. It takes an intentional, what did I learn? Did I take anything from it? And now how do I move forward?
you know what I heard you say there that was so awesome? It's like, forgive the things you did, but love yourself, right?
Absolutely.
When you said so much, that thank you for sharing your wisdom. But ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Listen to what Rachel just said. We all go through fires. And sometimes we do make a mistake. Man, I tell everybody, I don't hide. I say, you know what? I've made thousands of mistakes as a leader, as a husband, as a father, but I get back up. But I had
Mhm.
to learn, right? Because what happens when you make a mistake, instead of, right, you forgive the mistake, but you don't forgive yourself. And that's where the weight is there. And you get stuck in the weight. And what I
Mhm.
just heard you say, Rachel, is, hey, forgive yourself first and then
Mhm.
forgive the mistake, let it go, right? Because you can
So,
forgive the mistake, but then you're mad at yourself, and then I feel that's where people get plateau, and then that's where for me, I didn't realize when I went 8 years ago when my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017, as a man, how much shame, how much guilt, and then the
mhm.
regret sets in, and that stuff's heavy. Like that's the lid for your life. That's the lid for your business. What did you find out when you made the cognitive decision to say, I'm not gonna that's my story.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna play the victim to my story. I'm gonna champion my story. What was the shift that happened inside of you when you decided to
Mhm.
champion your story?
Oh, that's good. So I I would say the best way to describe before the shift was I felt like I was taking a bat and I was basically hitting it on top of my own head. It was just like over and over, like, you know better. Why did you do this? You don't deserve this. Why those things were happening. It was a very goodness, I was destroying myself here. And I most I guess the biggest realization was my children. Would I want them to do this to themselves? Sometimes when we become outside of ourselves, if we can look inside as if, you think of a highway and you're sitting on top of the cliff, or the, highway, you're looking down at all the cars and just kind of going by. If we can get a perspective higher or even higher, like an eagle, and looking down and seeing what's going on. And what I was doing is I was saying that myself was not of worth. Humanity was not of worth because there's not one of us that hasn't gone through something. There's not one of us who hasn't done anything, and it's all the same. There's no, it's tough. And so when I got to the place, would I want my children to feel as if they are not of worth because of things they've done or things that are happening? Or would I want them to see the worth and value that they have, and they can take something we call ashes, and we can bring beauty from it? And I do believe beauty can come from ashes, and it's one of those things. It's hard to comprehend in the middle of it, but that's where hope sets in. And if we have no hope, then we feel like there's no reason to live. And so then we're just living and not just kind of existing, but we're not experiencing life to its fullest. And with that comes very uncomfortable situations again that we may not have wanted, and situations again that we say, why did I do that? But I guess the biggest realization is, would I want my children to believe that their worth and their value is so low they couldn't go on in life? And so that was my why. My why was, I have to move forward because I need them to see life is going to be very difficult, yet we can find some beauty from this and grow through, I call, fires of life.
Ladies and gentlemen, maybe you think, man, everybody else has it all together. Maybe you get on TikTok, you get on Instagram, and you see everybody's reels, and you're like, I want their life. And I bring that up, Rachel, because I know from experience, because I've been blessed to be in some big rooms with these A speakers, right? Like I'll be in California next week with Tony Robbins. I've been around Ed Milet. I've been around. I mean, these guys are human, and everybody's going through something.
Yes.
And we have the illusion of saying, "Man, they got it. Like I want their life." Because there's not. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, like if you believe that the people around us, whether it's Oprah Winfrey, whether it's Chef Ramsay, these celebrities that we see around us, everybody's going through something. So don't tell yourself the myth, the lie that, man, they got the perfect life, because they don't. I don't have the perfect life. Like I go through stuff every day. And you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that what Rachel's saying is okay, well, that's where I was. I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to forgive myself and move on because it's the legacy that I heard you that you're leaving behind for for your sons, for your daughters. And sometimes we don't realize that we like, why are my kids? We look back, we're like, why did my child make that decision? And I had one of my clients, and I'm like, it's your responsibility because if you're not showing your kids love, I told this client male of mine, your daughter's gonna go look for love in the wrong places. And she did. So we gotta own the fact, okay, what did I do? Forgive yourself. Moving forward, change the communication to reaction and change you, right? Because if there's problems within you, within your business, within your life, it's Daniel,
Mhm,
right? Like I wanted to tell
mhm.
everybody, like, hey, no, it's dude, like look in the mirror. And I love what you said because you looked in the mirror and you said, I'm not gonna stay
Yes.
there. And I love that.
Yes. And I still look in the mirror and I think, oh my. But I am grateful and excited that I pushed through to do the work of looking in the mirror. And yet it is difficult to continue to look in there. But then at the same time, I can still look and say, I still love me. I still have worth and value, but it's a transformation isn't a one-time event. It's a continual process. And this evolving of who we are to our fullest, and Lord willing, we have gray hair and it's a peaceful, passage away. Um, all the way up into that day, I want to be learning more, growing more, and giving myself so much grace and not being so judgmental. Um, and I think when we do that for ourselves, then it's much easier to do for others. When we can say, hey, we're, like you said earlier, we're not alone. That's one of the biggest things I tell people is we know we're not mentally, but emotionally, we feel alone. Women, men, children, we feel like our own world is our own world, and we're just the only one going through it. And yet, we're not. It's humanity,
Artists
and
from
if
the
we
truth,
can
right?
understand that we're just human with so much. We are very complex spiritual beings. If we can understand that, then all the really big fires, we can say, wait, okay, I can embrace this. May feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable should be our best friend. Doesn't feel good in the moment, but man, if we hold tightly, then it definitely does some work in us.
Are you an aspiring speaker? Do you have a book that you've been wanting to write for months, maybe even years? Or are you an aspiring podcaster? You want to start that podcast like the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show and don't know where to start? Well, at Daniel Gomez Enterprises, we can help you do all three. We can help you become that paid speaker, share your story to the world, write your book, and get your podcast launched and help you produce it. We'd love to help you. Give us a call at 210-663-5954. That's 210-663-5954. We can help you become that paid speaker, write that book, and launch your podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a call now.
Well, I'm seeing your book behind you, and
Oh,
it comes
yes.
to mind, right? Fire Dance Flow is going to be launching this month of October. We have the soft launch coming up October 24th, Friday, and then the full blown launch is Saturday, the 25th. And as I'm seeing Fire Dance Flow, this is what comes to mind right now, right? Why walk when you can dance in the fire?
Oh, that's good. That's right. And I love to dance. So,
Right? Why walk when you can dance in the fire? And
yes.
and I think I see that with your book behind you that like yes, you can walk, yes, you can be bitter, yes, you can become resentful, yes, you can become angry.
Mhm,
But when you
mhm,
dance through it, okay, where's the good in this? Let me dance in the fire. Let me conquer this fire.
mhm,
And
mhm,
what is something that you want your reader to take away from your book when they get the copy in your hand? And it's let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's a powerful book. It's a really a lot of great insight of overcoming and dancing in the fire. What is something you wanting the reader to take away from that, Rachel?
mm. Oh, that's a great question. You know, I guess that one of the number one is you're not alone. And we hear the word saying and promotionals for different mental health and things like that because it's really hard for us to understand and to grasp. And so when I wrote the book, it was like if I could just sit with you, this is what I would say to you. You're truly not alone. So that would be the number one.
Mhm.
But yes, this dancing. So I do love to dance. So when I was going through those fires in life before, I got the realization of, oh wow, I can embrace this, or I'm going to allow it to keep me very stuck in a dark place. So what am I going to do? And so in that, I went into some interesting spaces of dance, and so I learned I love to dance. Maybe not the best atmospheres, but it was interesting. There was this one particular event, and many of us were dancing, and it was like this, it was called fusion dance. And so it's all different, it's like all dances compiled into one, and I absolutely still love it today. And I was just breathing, right, and having a moment to maybe kind of gather my thoughts in a way that it's great. Emotions are good. I may be going on a tangent, but when you get emotions out in constructive ways, it makes you have more clarity, right? So,
No, and you know what?
anyways,
You're not going on a tangent because you know what
sure.
you're saying? You're releasing the crap that's inside of you.
Exactly, but it's not crap. Okay,
But it's just right.
so
It's the
it's
emotions that we suppress.
it's a lot of emotion, exactly. And so it was a release in a constructive way, but it was God. He was like there in the midst, and he's like, "Why don't you dance with me, your life? Like, can you just
Mhm.
dance with me in life?" And I was like, "But you know what I'm doing." You know that there's some spaces I've been in just the other night. And he's like, "I know, but I just want you to dance with me in life." And with that was like this pressure, this heavy weight of a higher being, like, man, this stuff feels so strong, but I can dance. And only that, I know I have a creator that made me, and he was like, you are worth a value, every
Mhm.
single one of you. And if you would just dance with me. And so that kind of stuck with me. And but yeah, you'll I don't know where we're going with it, but yes, dance through life, right? Just
Well,
live.
you know what comes to mind, what you're saying. I was having this conversation with one of my clients yesterday morning, and I said, "Do you realize who wrote Amazing Grace?" He goes, "No." I go, "It wasn't Beethoven. It wasn't some scholar, pianist, and melodist from Harvard or whatever school of. It was a wretched that God used.
Mm-hmm.
God used the unqualified, and this guy didn't even know music. So how can God use somebody that he calls himself, and I say the word wretched because that's what he refers to himself in the song Amazing Grace. And it's the number one melody for God's glory ever, Amazing Grace.
Yeah.
That's what's coming to mind as you're saying that, right? And because I, I went through this, we fall, we stumble, we sin, we question ourselves, we beat ourselves up, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, with the analogy, with the hammer on the head, and we do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to my heart on this. If God can use a wretched, someone who doesn't even know music, go back and study that, ladies and gentlemen. Google or Chat GPT, the originator of Amazing Grace. And it became the number one melody in history for God's glory. What can he not do in your life if you just open your heart and dance in the fire, like Rachel's saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we think, man, I screwed up. Man, yeah, okay, great. Well, and and somebody needs to hear this because you know who keeps you there? A lot of times that's your family members, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your family members, and your light starts to shine, and your fire's getting brighter in a good way, and you're dancing, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
but Rachel, I knew you over there. Daniel, I knew you over there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not who I am anymore. And maybe right now you're listening to this episode, ladies and gentlemen, and a family member is trying to keep you where they met you at, right? They're trying to keep you as that teenage version of you or that 20-year-old version of you, like Rachel said, or even that 30-year-old year version. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
divorced, you're this. It doesn't matter. God doesn't look at that. God looks at, okay, will you just be quiet and dance with me in the fire and let me show you where I can take you?
Absolutely.
I love that. So if there's a woman out there and man, right? And I say woman because Rachel coaches women, and they feel shame and guilt. They've fallen as a mom, they've fallen as a wife, they've fallen as an employee. Give them a word of encouragement if you don't mind, Rachel, please.
Mhm. The first thing I would say is no one's truly fallen. Um, we feel like we've fallen. It's if we would step out of ourselves for a minute and look at ourselves as life itself, we would see everything completely different. It's that heartbeat, right? It's that breath. And the biggest thing I would say is you haven't fallen. You just have to feel like you can stand up and keep moving. And every woman, um, she's, in some ways we were born to be nurturers, right? And it doesn't mean you have to give birth or even have a child, but we do have this nurturing spirit. And so if we make decisions that feel like it's not as nurturing, doesn't mean that we've fallen. It just means we're as human and we need to be nurtured ourselves. And so that's what I would tell them. I would say, oh, how precious, how amazing, how incredible that you are because you're alive.
Mm.
And every breath that you have has life. And every second you have another breath and another chance to see the mercy, to see the grace, to see the beauty, to see yourself. And I would encourage her to look in the mirror and see everything, like all of it, every single part of it, and be okay with that and love that, own that. Um,
It's it,
that's what I would say.
as a human being, sometimes we tend to we gravitate to the negative, right? We
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, we are programmed to do it. We really do. There's some research that I saw many years ago, and we are actually prone to go the negative. We have to make the effort to look for the good. And so wherever our focus goes, that's where our energy goes. And if our focus is always on the negative, well, I mean, that's what we're going to see in life. That's what we're going to see in ourselves. That's what we're going to see in others. That's going to everything we touch. But if we focus on the good, we focus on the positive, we focus on the growth, focus on the possibilities rather than the fear, then oh my gosh, things really open up and then we see the abundance.
Yeah. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen. As we're getting ready to land this plane, where do you need to put, right? Where your attention goes, neuron firing flows. So when you start focusing on the good, put your attention to the good, what Rachel's saying, put your attention to the good. And when you intentionally put your focus on the good, then those neuron firings start to form a new pattern in your thinking in your brain. And before you know it, it's like you wake up and you're like, why am I singing that song? Because you put that right attention to that song, it's in your subconscious. You sort of right, those neuron firings created a new
Mhm.
little path, and you're like. So as we come to land the plane, Rachel, what is a scripture or a saying, a quote that you rely
Mhm.
on when adversity comes and you're dancing in the fire?
Mm. Oh, for me, it was definitely my anchor. It's my anchor verse, but it's Romans 8:28. And it says, "All things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose."
Mm.
So that would definitely. It's one that I probably held on to. Goodness gracious, since I was baptized in 2004 with my second oldest, I was actually pregnant Like I'm thinking about the pregnancy. And then they just put me in the waters there. But yeah, I'd say, and even those not of faith, I do believe things work out if you are aware, you have that awareness. You look up, you know. So yes, absolutely. Just look up and see the possibilities.
How does somebody get a hold of you?
Oh, how does somebody get a hold of me? Oh, yes. Okay. So go to evolvewithrachel.com and you'll see some different women on there, some testimonials of some things that we work together, side by side. And but of course, yeah, you can also find me on Instagram, Evolve Coaching with Rachel. And but yeah, and then of course, grab my book. You'll see me
Yeah,
there.
do me a
Fire
favor.
Dance Flow.
Grab your book and hold it up real quick if you
Oh,
don't mind. So
yes, yes. I'm
we're,
super excited about it.
yeah, we're honored to be Rachel's publisher, DGE Publishing. Her book is
Yeah.
launching, don't forget, on the 24th, soft launch on Friday, and then October
Yes.
25th is the full-blown launch. We got the hardback, paperback, every back.
Every bag, that's
Back.
right. Oh, and oh, if you're in the San Antonio area, November 5th, I will be at the Pearl with a book twig store. It's their market night. So this is a great time to, shop and come see me, meet me, grab a book. Love to do a signed copy. So November 5th at 5 o'clock, San Antonio. That's always
Yeah.
another space
And if
where
they
I
buy a
can
book,
meet,
if they buy a
meet
book,
you.
the paperback or the hardback, you're gonna sign it and take a picture with them, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Rachel, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your busy
Thank
schedule
you.
because I know you have a lot of things going on, and thank you for just pouring value into our audience. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Thank you for making us one of the top podcasts worldwide. And maybe you got a story you want to share. You see behind me, DGE Publishing right here. We want to help you. Or maybe coming up November 14th and 15th, the makings of a millionaire mind. Maybe you're stuck in life, you're stuck in business. We've helped thousands of people around the world, and we have people fly into our events every single 6 months. And we want to help you get unstuck, grow your mindset, and then share your story to the world. So, Rachel, thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank
reach out
you.
to us here, DGE in San Antonio, Texas. We'll see you next week with another amazing guest on the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show. God bless you, everybody.